Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Afternoon in South Africa. I think in some countries it's late afternoon. I believe in India, it's around about 3 in the afternoon right now. East Africa, there's a different time zone than us. But thank you so much, everyone, for being here this afternoon and morning. We are live on Facebook, so those who are not able to hear me, they can hear me on Facebook. Just follow our page on Facebook and you'll be able to hear us as we go through. When you have a question, just raise your hand and I will be able to take your question. And please, let's all remain muted during this session to allow us to benefit from all the wisdom from our facilitator today. Without any further ado, I would like to introduce Dagmar Brailing, who is an expert in heading financial institutions for entrepreneurs and helping young startup and entrepreneurs scale by providing them with tools that they need so that they can either get funding or how to structure their finance so they're in a growth trajectory. Without any further ado, Dagmar, welcome. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon. I'm just seeing if you are also visible on Facebook. Just give me a moment.
Please do that. Otherwise, everybody here in Zoom already, welcome. Lovely to see you. Absolutely excited to be here. Yes, let's just see what Soledad says, that we can start.
Yes, we are absolutely live. Thank you.
Okay, lovely. Okay, so welcome everybody. I'm absolutely excited to be here. Let me just start. I prepared a little bit of a presentation so that you always know exactly where I am if you get lost in between. Number one is what I wanted please to do. I wanted to thank very much the Wadhwani Foundation, making this possible, organizing it, inviting all of you to be part of it. Special thanks to Solela and also, of course, to Charles. What do we do today? It's a masterclass, and we are talking about how to fund your small business. And we're talking about 7 ways to raise startup capital. Just to give you a small little overview, we will talk about bootstrapping, friends and family, business loans. Sometimes there are even grants available. We talk about crowdfunding. We will talk about angel investors, about startup accelerators, and venture capitalists. Okay, so that's something that lots of you will enjoy to hear, but money is never ever the problem. There's enough money out there, okay? Just for you to understand, raising capital is not easy. It's never an easy process. It's not simple. And there are business ventures out there. They are not fundable. That's the cruel reality. But the big question is, are you ready to apply for funding? Are you ready to raise capital? That is the biggest hurdle what lots of entrepreneurs are facing. Okay. So if you want to raise capital, you need to think about that you are so ready that they give you the money today, you know exactly what you will do tomorrow with it. It's not about finding things out. First, I need to raise the capital, then I produce my product, and then I will find a market. Even if you have the money, please do not do it like this. Yeah. Financiers always want to have a look about your expertise. Do you know what you are doing? Are you experienced enough in this industry? And I'm not too sure. Can somebody just unmute yourself? So then Otherwise, there are so many people in there. Thanks very much. Okay, so your expertise, one important aspect. Make that clear to financiers. What is your expertise? What are you able to do? What are you able to handle? Lots of times I hear, of course, then also, Dagmar, I want to start, let's say, pharmaceutical manufacturing. I can't be the operations manager, the sales manager, the financial manager, the CEO. No, you don't need to be that. But then you need to have a team of people around you. You can share with financiers and say, okay, here's an experienced operations manager. Here's an experienced sales manager who will manage the sales. The next thing is what I always see on a daily basis handling applications is that people say, yes, I need equipment. I'm assuming, let's talk about in dollars here. I assume I need $1 million. Yeah, no, that's not going to work like this. You need to know exactly which equipment do you want. You need to be ready. Somebody wants to give you some money. They don't give it to you just like this, and then you can say, I will figure out everything later. That's not happening. Be clear about what equipment do you need? What maintenance does this equipment need? Are spare parts in your country available? Do you need to fly in experts if something breaks down? You need to know these things. These are the things what makes you ready for an investor or financier who says, okay, I feel comfortable. They know what they are doing. They are really ready with everything. I have 3 more points here on my list. Suppliers. Do you know from whom you will get the raw material? Maybe there is a shortage of this raw material. Yeah, so, and you set up everything, the full factory, you will all smile. I've seen this. They set it up, everything, they use their own money, and then they figured out, oops, there's a shortage, we can't get this raw material. Either way, because it's imported, you can't get it into the country, or there's a shortage in the country, or the supplier, I'm sure you can hear that. English is not my mother tongue, I'm German. And in Germany, it's not easy to get suppliers because they start at a certain level before they even supply you. And maybe as a startup, you don't need that much. Yeah. These are the things you need to be ready to be able to raise capital. Customers. Do you have an idea who are your customers? Do you know what they are looking for? Do you know if they even need what you're offering? Do you know if they are able and willing to pay the price you need? Have a look. I always recommend go out there, specifically it's business to business transaction. Make yourself a list. Who do you want to sell to? Then you have a list and go, okay, these are the 5, 6 companies I personally would really love to supply, put them at the end of the list. And then you go out and you need to see 10, 20, 30 different people. Talk to them. Say, this is a market research. I want to manufacture this product. Is this of interest for you? What challenges do you have with your existing suppliers? Is there anything I can do better? Yeah. And the trick is now after 10, 15 different meetings, you now come to the people you really want to work with. You know exactly what they will ask you because you heard these questions already before. You have a good idea for how much you can offer your product or services. You know if you're competitive. And this will help you again. Then money is not the problem. The money is there. You are able to apply for it. The only challenge is that most entrepreneurs are not ready really to raise the capital. And hey, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I know exactly, I know where you are. You are too excited. You want to get going. But take your time, prepare things, make a good impression to the market and to financiers. Then you will be able to raise the capital. The staff is something what I mentioned already before. Have a look at your strength. Who else do you need in your boat to manage this business? Is there anybody out there you may need as a partner? Yeah. The last thing what I said here, something what I experienced in my day-to-day business. Be aware, this needs to be a win-win situation. It is a win for you to start your business, but of course, it also needs to be a win for the investor, for the financier. They need to feel comfortable in what you are doing and how you are handling things. And that's why being prepared is one of the biggest challenges, what I can see, why people think, entrepreneurs think that there are challenges to access capital. Okay, who I am. My name is Dagmar Breiling. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a funding strategist. I'm the CEO here at Funding Connection. We assist companies raising capital. We do that by lots of advisory, but also business plans. And then at the end, have a look. Are you able to apply for a government loan? Is there maybe even a grant for you available? And what other opportunities are there for you to raise capital? What I forgot to mention here, I'm also a black belt. I started karate when I was 50 years old. I'm busy now training also for my second dan. So I'm not afraid of challenges. I'm not afraid of getting challenged. And that's also something what you shouldn't be. Okay, so let's dive into all the options we have here. Number one, bootstrapping. Honestly, something what I personally really, really love. I know not each and every business can be bootstrapped, but in my day-to-day business, I'm reading, we're assessing of a business plan assessments. I'm doing them, so I'm reading minimum 2 to 3 business plans a day. And there are lots of times opportunities out there the entrepreneur is not seeing. Okay. Bootstrapping means you're using your existing resources. That means you need to be resourceful. Think about what you have, what you can use. That means your personal savings. Some cases people ask for personal loan. Use your own computer equipment. You know all these stories about using your garage spaces. Have a look around in your circle of friends and family. Is there anybody out there who is maybe able to assist, to get you contacts? If you want to, let's say you want to manufacture a product, maybe, and you can't get any funding, maybe try first to buy it in and sell it, and to save a little bit of money to get the access to the market. Because if you are not selling anything, there is no business. That is the biggest challenge, yeah? I'm always hearing people, we want a nice logo, we want a business website. These are all nice things to have, but without a sale, you have no business. Concentrate on sales in the beginning, concentrate on who are my customers, what can I offer them? Do they need this? What prices do I charge them? Something also, what I see lots of times, people, I'm having them business plans. I'm in South Africa, so it's in South African rand. They assume they have 6 million rand sales in the first year. And when I then ask them, okay, that's great. So how much is one unit? Oh, we only charge, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 rand was for an app, the specific project I have in mind. So, and then I said, okay, so you think you can sell this app for so many times in the first year? We didn't think this really through, yeah? So financier will think this through. How many units are you able to sell? How much is a unit? That is critical for you to have these things planned. This bootstrapping forces you to concentrate on sales. That's why I like this. I know it's not usable for each and every business idea, but sometimes it's a good idea to get started. Next, family and friends. Okay, so they will invest in you because they believe in you and they believe in your idea. One of the recommendations, if you do anything with friends and family, is make some sort of agreement. I'm not talking about going to a lawyer or something like this. I'm talking, assume I will be able to pay you, start paying you back in month 3. I assume this is my sales for the first couple of months, and I assume so many months. Make some agreements with you, even if it's family and friends. I highly recommend that. Manage Okay, can you hear me again?
Yes, we can hear you, but you keep on going in and out.
Oh no, that shouldn't happen here.
Yeah, now you are back on. Now you are back on.
Okay. Hey, we have a 200 meg line in our office. Shouldn't happen. Okay, sorry. Okay, so family and friends. I'm not too sure when I was gone. So recommend highly having an agreement in place, in writing, make sure, I'm not talking about a lawyer's agreement, I'm just talking about an agreement between you and your investor. Maybe you give them shares. I know of a friend who offered 15 years ago some shares to a friend. I think they invested at that time 500, 700,000 rand. They got that back now times 20. Yeah. So these are also, make sure, okay, so as soon as I sell my business, then you will get back your percentage, make agreements. It forces you also to make some sort of commitments. Yeah. Okay, next one, business loans. Depending on the country where you are in, sometimes there are always commercial banks. That's not a problem. But depending on the country where you are in, there are government institutions. They offer, definitely here in South Africa, also in Germany, I know that they offer loans to preferred interest rates or other payment conditions to make it easier for startups. The challenges with loans, just be clear about you pay an interest rate. The interest rate is always connected to the prime rate in your country. With all the turmoil all over the world, the prime rate is going up at the moment. So if you apply for a loan with an interest rate, keep that in mind, that maybe you think about at the moment you're paying 11% interest rate, it still can go up maybe to 12, 13, 14%. Also, of course, depending on the country where you are in. Just be aware of this. If you want to apply for a loan, my tip is always don't only ask one bank, go to a couple of different banks. The price for money can be different and you want to get the best deal for your business. Crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is an interesting exercise. It means that you are either raising donations through a crowd. You can, in some instances, you can even offer shares for your business if somebody pays you a small amount, or that is something what I've seen lots of times, that people just offer products. Either way, let's say I would raise some capital for Funding Connection, we would offer coffee mugs, t-shirt with our logo on it, and then people pay for it and then get the t-shirts, and this way I can raise some capital, let's say for Funding Connection. I've also seen this when a product is already ready. I've seen, just for you to get some ideas, I've seen, I'm a lady, handbag. There was somebody obviously targeting businesswoman. It was a handbag. It looks pretty. It was really versatile to use for travel, for a laptop, for business, for after-hour yoga sessions. And they showed all the different applications they can do. And it was, you can see that here via a video. So what is important? If you want to do crowdfunding, not each and every product or service is suitable for crowdfunding. You need to have something what is really interesting for end users, that they think this idea is amazing, I want to support this. That means you find there are different crowdfunding platforms out there. It's online. Makes it quite easy. You need to figure out which jurisdiction they are working in. There are some crowdfunding platforms in the US, but they are not able to pay the money they raised, let's say, into South Africa. Yeah, because the legislation is different. And that is one of the challenges. If this is something what you want to do, you need to put some research and effort into the research. You need to German your audience, for whom would this be interesting. The next part is you need to do a presentation. You need to do a video, a pitch deck to convince somebody to invest in you, to buy the shares, to buy your product, or to buy some, or to offer you some donations. Having this only on a crowdfunding platform will give you no traction. It makes no sense. If you want to do this, be prepared to pay some money into advertising. Of course, you can use social media posts. This is a nice free opportunity to get some traction and get some traffic onto your crowdfunding platform, onto this website where you want to raise the donations. I highly recommend, if you want to do that correctly, use some paid advertising. That's the right way to do. Angel investors. I'm always asked to, Dagmar, don't you have an angel investor? Yes, they are angels, but first and foremost, they are investors. What is an angel investor? It's usually a wealthy individual who wants also to be part of the board of directors. It means you need to be prepared also to have somebody else in your boat to make decisions. You are not on your own anymore. If you want to partner with somebody, I highly recommend be clear about what you are expecting, be clear about what they are expecting. The angel investor will tell you exactly, this is what I want from you, yeah? But you also need to think about, what do I expect from the investor? Money alone will not make you happy if you have totally different target markets, or missions or visions can be difficult to work together. One thing what you please also should be aware, that an angel investor has usually, they are interested in an industry they know really, really well. Yeah, that means they have an access to the market. Then can you get listed quickly somewhere? Yeah, they know the industry really well. They have a network where they can connect you, what will help you, maybe with improving your production, maybe with getting access to different markets. Angel investors usually back the individual, something what I mentioned before already. How do you present yourself? That's, you remember what I said in the beginning. Are you ready? You need to convince this investor, I am ready, I've done my research, I know what I'm doing. Yeah. So it is an opportunity. Keep also in mind how angel investors are thinking, just for you to have an idea. They know they are willing to take risk. Okay, that's why they are also called angel investors. They will take some risks. Their calculations is like this. I'm investing in 3 people, $1 million in each of them. I've done my due diligence, but reality is I know one of them will fail. So I gave out 3 million. I will lose 1 million. I have 2 million left with if they only repay me the investment. But like I said, this person is an investor. So he knows already, minimum he needs to get back 1.5 times of his investment to cover his losses. Yeah. So that means usually angel investors have an exit strategy, and they know they give you today $1 million and they want to have back in 3 years, $3 million US. That makes sense to them. Yeah. So that means also that this angel investor is usually for companies with great growth possibilities. It's not for the normal retail shop or something like this. It's really for businesses where you can scale quickly. If this investor comes in, he shows you access to the market, he can increase the production for you, and this way your business will explode. This can be the right strategy. Keep in mind, I'm always saying, I know lots of times, oh yes, I'm looking for an equity partner, but I don't want to give up any shares in my business. That makes no sense. If your equity partner is like an angel investor who will be able to triple, 10 times your business, then maybe that's the right strategy for you. Because that will mean also you are able to grow, and also your portion of the business will grow. You wouldn't be able to grow without the angel investor. Okay, the next one are the startup accelerators. So startup accelerators are business programs, and they support early stage growth-driven companies. And they do that through education, mentorship, sometimes through financing. Wadhwani Foundation is one of them. So as an economist myself, I know SMMEs are the backbone of an economy. I think in the first world, around about half of the GDP of the country comes from SMMEs. And in the not so developed countries, there is definitely big opportunities for SMEs to grow an economy. What happens if you grow the economy? All the people in this country will also grow, also financially grow, of course. Wealth is created. That is why foundations doing this. This is also, of course, why governments are pushing for these things. Okay, venture capital. What's the difference? Just for you to have an idea, I was always, before I knew these things, I also thought, okay, what's the difference between an angel investor and a venture capital? Venture capitals are usually funds or firms. The angel investor is an individual who will invest in you. Venture capitalists think similar like the angel investors. They have a look at startups where there is no revenue. What do they do then? They back you. They're backing the jockey, they're backing the individual. That's the reason why I say you need to be prepared. You need to make sure that you can convince somebody that they feel this person is ready. Yeah. So they will have a look at startups where there is no revenue. They also have a look at early stage businesses that is called pre-revenue. That means this company secured already some capital from some sources. So, and that means obviously as a venture capital firm, I know, okay, they received already some capital from maybe an angel investor. And I know this angel investor, I know they have done the due diligence. It saves a little bit of time and effort. Let me just, can you just have a look for my other dongle for the internet? Okay, thank you.
Where would I find it in your bag?
Okay.
We can still hear you, Dagmar, we can still see you.
Okay.
But your presentation
sure.
just disappeared for 2 seconds.
Okay, lovely. Thanks very much for letting me know. Okay, so venture capital, it's a firm, it's a fund. They think similar than the angel investor. They put some money into startups with no revenue. They do that for early stage companies. That's pre-revenue. That means there's somebody raised already. They raised already some capital and they just need some top up. And of course, they're also interested in emerging companies. They're specifically interested in emerging companies because they can see the growth rate. That is what they want. They want to have high growth potential. And they want to, of course, they have the same thing. They give you $1 million today. They know there will be an exit strategy in 3 or 5 years. They want to sell their shares and then they get minimum times 3 out. Yeah. So again, if you want to approach somebody like this, you need to be ready for this. Do you have everything in place that you can convince somebody that this is the right thing for you to do? Yeah. Okay. So let me just talk a little bit about, I mentioned that before about our services. So what we do here as a team and we are situated in South Africa. We do that for whole South Africa. We do that also for other countries. It's all, money is international standard in any case. We can do business plans. We can do financial forecasts. We can do feasibility studies. We do lots of advisory, and then we help with capital raising at the end of the day. So let me just stop sharing. Okay, so what I just wanted to talk a little bit about, because we have some time here, is about my day-to-day experience, where I can see where startups are really lacking. And I promise you, most of you will have the same challenge. Don't think, I know entrepreneurs love their product or their services, and it's good like this. Yeah, a financier is always looking at a different angle. They want to see, of course, your enthusiasm, your passion for what you are doing, but they are interested in the business model. They want to know exactly how much capital do you need? Do you know for what you need the capital? Or do you thumbsuck numbers? Do you have an idea about your selling prices or your cost prices? You remember I mentioned that before, that sometimes people come up with some crazy monthly sales numbers in a currency, but they can't break it down into how many units are you able to sell, for how much do you charge per unit, how much does the unit cost you to manufacture or to produce. They have no idea about how much staff. Last week, we've done one business plan for a client. So, and I had a look at it. I said, they have lots of staff. That's unusual. Let me just have a look at it. So then I broke it down and I called the client and I said, okay, according to your sales forecast, you are manufacturing per hour 4 units. Okay, I didn't doubt that. I thought it was not enough for the setup, but I said it's 4 units. But you have 50 staff. What are they doing? You know, so you have 50 people around 4 units in an hour. That makes absolutely no sense. This is why it is so important to be prepared. What I always explain is that a business plan is like a big puzzle. You have an idea about different areas, and now the trick is to get these things together. Yeah, you can't manufacture 1 million rolls of toilet paper a day and think you can sell this one-on-one to end users. That's not possible. You need to sell this to wholesalers and retailers. It determines your sales strategy. You see how everything is connected, and this is where I promise you most of you will lack. And this is one of the reasons why you have challenges to raise capital. Be clear about every single detail of your business. I'm just going here through all the things what I'm seeing on a daily basis. Somebody is buying equipment. This equipment is able, according to the description I've seen, to manufacture 100,000 units a day. Yeah, so in an 8-hour shift. But they only want to sell 100,000 units a month. Why do you need big equipment like this? Yeah. Then one other part is specifically with the equipment. The manufacturer gives you a good idea how much electricity this equipment needs. So you are able to calculate how much monthly electricity you need. This is how detailed you need to be prepared to convince a financier and tell them this is exactly what I want to do. Your suppliers, I mentioned that before, have meetings with them. Don't only think, I'm seeing that lots of times people just say, oh yes, I had a meeting with one supplier. Maybe there are more suppliers. What happens if this one supplier is closing down? Then you're in trouble. Your whole operation is gone. Be prepared. Think about it. Think through and plan ahead. I know what lots of people of you will think at the moment. They said, yes, starting a business, there are so many unknown aspects. That's correct. And let me tell you, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I started a couple of different businesses. I was able to sell some I closed down, some are still running. But if there's always things, they will change. But if you have no plan, no idea, there is absolutely no foundation where your business can stand on. And I always say, keep in mind, there are different, I'm sure you all know that, there are different personalities out there, okay? There is somebody who says, I'm just winging it. I don't need to make a plan. If I make a plan, everything happens in any case. And then I need to make a new plan. I'm not even starting with making a plan. This person, I would always recommend, make a proper plan. But there are other people out there, they are scared. They are control freaks, you know, so they would like to have everything planned and there wouldn't be any wiggle room. To these people, I would say, okay, there is a time when you planned enough and there will things always happen. Doesn't matter how good you are prepared. And if you have been in business, and I'm sure also some of you have been in business, you know that. You're planning and then life happens and then you need to see how to get through this. So these people, I would say, okay, just jump into the cold water, just do it. Yeah. So, and then you will learn to swim and there will be challenges all the time, but there still needs to be, because now you need to convince a third party. You know what you are able to do. You know what you are capable of. So that is why it is so important to get the financier to buy in, and that's why it is so important to convince the financier that you're knowing what you are doing. And they will ask you all these questions. How much capital do you need? For what exactly do you need the capital? How will you earn money? How much is a unit cost? Specifically, most institutions have experts in your field, you know, and if you want to sell now milk to supermarkets for, I don't know, let's say $2, and selling it to the retailer, the milk for $2, but everybody knows you can able as an end user to buy the milk for $2. Makes no sense. Yeah, so they can see that if you thought your business idea through, if this makes sense, put effort into it. I know it feels daunting. I totally understand that. And let me tell you, the first business plans I've done also, I used weeks, not all the time, but I always try to get some information in between, of course. But you can do that systematically and get all the information together and be then able to draft a proper business plan so that financiers are at the end of the day impressed by you. They feel, yes, there's somebody who put effort into it. Keep in mind, specifically for startups, they are backing you. They are backing the jockey, they are backing your expertise, they are backing your experience, and you need to show that. And the only way for you to show that is, of course, in a proper documentations, detailed enough for them to say, yes, this is interesting. Okay, So what I just wanted to share with you are, number one is our contact details. You can email Brent, fundingconnection.co.za is our website. I have our landline. I know here's also people from Africa, maybe from other parts of the world. That's our WhatsApp telephone number. And then I'm sure Solela is later on able to share that. I created the first steps for entrepreneurs, specifically here in Africa. Lots of tips, some stupid things on how to name your company, how to market your company, basic things, what lots of people forget, you know, because naming your company is important. You need to have a website. Is this website available, you know, and having all these details also included. Okay. I know I had 1 hour for my presentation, but I'm done here, Xulela. I hope you can share this link later on.
Yes, I definitely will. Thank you. But we do have some questions that I would like us to delve into while we wait for the floor to maybe share if they have any questions. First question, give me 2 seconds. I can't read properly. First question, how does one access angel investors? Where would one go about accessing angel investors?
Okay, so if you want to keep in mind, angel investors in general are wealthy individuals. Number one is have a look if there's anybody in, you know, okay. Otherwise, there are definitely websites where you can sign up for, where angel investors are looking for good projects. That's why it's also so important to be well prepared so that you can state clearly, okay, I have done this, 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 this. You can be a little bit careful with the information you share in the beginning, depending on your intellectual property of your idea. But you can tell them, I've done a cash flow, we have access to the market, I have suppliers secured, you know, so share the information with them, what you have in place. There are some websites where you need to Google angel investors where you can find them.
Thank you for that. We have, I think this question is more related to South Africa, by the way it's structured. What are the typical things that one would need to prepare if they are asking for funding from CIFA or CIDA or institutions that are of public entities?
Okay, so all government institutions, and I'm quite confident all over the world, have look out for the same things. It needs to be a profitable business. And whatever I mentioned, CIFA definitely will have will need these things in place to be able to finance you.
Yeah, yes, Kupano is asking, what kind of leverage do banks or financiers look for?
Yes, the leverage is your expertise, your experience, your access to market, your preparation. Do you remember in the beginning, I said it needs to be a win-win situation. If somebody comes to me and says, I want to start a manufacturing of, I don't know, cell phones, okay? And Dagmar, can you please finance me? And then I can say, yes, sounds interesting for me. I would do that. What have you done already? And this person says, nothing. I thought you do everything for me because you are the expert. But then it's my business. You understand? It needs to be a win-win situation. If the other person is not adding any value to this transaction, then yeah, I set up my own cell phone manufacturing company. Somebody is listening to music here.
It's actually me. I have load shedding, so I'm in a restaurant. Okay, here's here's another interesting question. How can one determine the best funding deal, like the lookout for? I think you touched on that at the beginning, by the way, but I'm sure it was not clear.
Okay, so there are a couple of different aspects you need to think about. How much does the money cost you is, of course, one of the aspects, okay? So compare interest rates, compare bank fees also can be important aspect. Compare any other, if you have a look at venture capitalists, at angel investors, what value do they add to your company? Do they have access to the market? Are they able to connect you maybe with the manufacturer where you know, okay, this headache I don't have anymore. He can manufacture this product for me. So it is a full basket of things you definitely need to have a look at and see. Here in South Africa, if you go to banks, you need to have 50% own contribution in equity. Government institutions only need 10% equity. That's an argument for government institutions. They are maybe a little bit slow, like governments all over the world are. But if you only need 10% of 10 million US dollars or 50% of 10 million US dollars is a big difference for you, and it will be easy able for you to make the decision which direction to go.
Yeah, this is quite, yeah, well, thank you for that. I think most entrepreneurs actually struggle with that differentiating factor. Here's another interesting question. Again, it's around the funding. I've got a client who are willing to offer me a verbal contract, but investors need a written contract. How do I solve this challenge?
Sorry, I couldn't hear all of it. Oh, wait, to offer me verbal contracts. Okay, that's not a challenge, honestly. If somebody is only willing to give that to you verbally, this person is not serious. It's straightforward, it's an excuse. They don't want to work with you, okay? So that's why they don't give you anything in writing. And let me tell you, I personally experienced this. That was in Germany, but I also saw that from lots of my clients when they just said, oh, I used my own money. Somebody gave me verbally a confirmation that they will use me. And then later on, they said, I'm so sorry. No, I will not use you. That's why I always, even an offtake agreement is not legally binding. Please be aware of this. Yeah, maybe just quickly to explain, there is a letter of intent. That means as soon as Kanya is ready, I will, no. Letter of intent is, I'm interested to buy from Kanya, okay? There's no when, no quantity, no quality, no price, nothing mentioned, yeah? And there's on the other side, there is an order. I want 1,000 tons of oranges per month from 1st of August on each and every month, and I'm paying, I don't know, $10,000 per ton of oranges. And they need to be delivered, and they need to be A quality for export. That's an order, yeah? So, and now